Good morning, fellow creators. It's Ben from Cinder Ideas, because, duh. It is a little after 9, the 18th, a little after 9 a.m. on the 18th, September, Saturday, 2021, and I'm eating cookies for breakfast because I can. And I'm a little hungover because I had a bit too much to drink last night, and was also up a little later than I probably should have been. So I'm starting my day this way. Sue me. So now that breakfast is over, I'm going to try and paint something. So I ran into... Well, I was doing a live version of my old sketchbooks over on my second channel earlier this week. So that was fun. And I found a sketch from 2016? Yeah. That I really wanted to do. It's this underwater Atlantis-y thing. And I'm like, ooh, this is going to be good. I had a couple lined up. I had this one called Devil's Crossing, which I was going to do on a small piece. But as soon as I saw this, I was like, I'm making this one, and it's going on a nice big canvas. So I've got this. This is a 24 by 36. 2 by 3 footer, same size as Valley of the Colossus that I did last month, but it's not. It's a thinner profile because I went to Michael's just to get this, and I was like, okay, well, I want to work on this big one. I wanted to get another big one when I got this, and while I would have preferred something with a wider profile. This way, the Michaels ones, to get that you have to get the gallery wrapped ones, and I have mixed feelings about that. I wanted to get something that it was just back stapled, and then the other thing was I needed something with the crossbar, because anything of this size, there were a couple of them I think that might have had a bigger profile, but all they had were the corner pieces for support, and I'm like, no, it needs the big center crossbar if I'm gonna actually be able to get this to work and still have the good stretch that it needs. So, man, this shirt is filthy. I should change it. So I'm debating on whether or not to do the black bar thing. Probably don't need to, but I feel like adding a 2-inch, at least 2-incher around that might help a bit. So I think I'm going to start there. Alright, so ideally I should have done the borders yesterday, because now I gotta let this dry. But a couple other things I do have to take care of this morning. Most notably is I gotta ship a package out. Okay, so I got everything packed up, ready to go. I was gonna go in a much larger box, but as soon as I calculated out the shipping for the larger box, it was like, holy crap, this is way too expensive. Let's put this in a smaller box. And oddly enough, putting it in a smaller box also cut its weight in half too, which is great. So, now, because I'm sending this via the regular post office, and it's Saturday, I have to take it right now, because they're only open for the next 2 hours. It's always something, you know? Always something.
A few moments later.
Okay, that little errand is taken care of. I'm going to change my clothes, back to painting clothes, start working on this, now that it's way later than I wanted it to be to start on this, but it's not even 10:30 yet, so we still got time, so it's good. Okay, so now I've got some cranberry juice, so I think we're good to get started. Decided to throw my microphone on. so I don't have to keep, I keep watching the thing go and every time the mic's out, and it's like, whatever reason the camera isn't amplifying the audio levels up enough, so I'm having to do that in post. So now, I'm going to start grabbing some color, I believe. My nose is really running. It's annoying right now. It happens every time the air kind of gets real humid. Then my nose starts to run. Also, the mic at this point is going to help me move around the room and not necessarily stay on camera, which helps. Alright, so I'm going to clean this palette off. So, doing an underwater piece, and I want to rely, I think, probably closer to like a cerulean and phthalo versus my Prussian blue, which I use the Prussian blue a lot, and I'm probably going to use a little bit of it for the sake of some of the darker areas, but last time I did that, it was too dark, so yeah. Get some clean water. Here's stuff that's been sitting a while. Yeah, I was really surprised to find that this sketch at all. It's pretty awesome, and I don't think I actually had it marked out at all either. So, some interesting things I can do with this. It's a little bit reminiscent of a piece I did in like 2012, I think, called Kingfish Kingdom, which I did a remake of, and the remake turned out worse somehow. Well, it's not worse, but it was too dark. I used the Prussian versus the phthalo blues. I have the gessoed version, but I do need to sketch this out. That's first and foremost. I actually I didn't make a video about it, but I did have sort of a mini art haul. I really only needed like one thing, which is to say these pastels. So I got two of them. They're a Blick Artist soft pastel. It's green gray 4. So I was looking on my list, and the one between the Blick website and the old Utrecht website, which is just run by Blick, there's a little bit of an offset on what's available where. So I was like, well, let me look at the stuff I have to get specifically from the Blick website, because everything else I just do through the Utrecht website. So I had a look at some things that I was like, well, there, and then like if you spend $45, you get free shipping. I was like, well, screw it, let's get up to $45. So I got the two pastels. For whatever reason, the Liquitex paint marker nibs have been on back order forever. I've been waiting to get extra ones for the smaller markers. But then I was like, well, wait a second. The nib's bad. You can't get a new nib, but you can just get a new marker which has the nib in it already. So I just got a new one of my neutral gray 5s. So when this is empty, I'm actually going to completely switch it out for the new one. Because the nib on this is like it's not a nib anymore, it's a nub. But it's just kind of a bother. So what else hold on, what else did I buy? Where's that packing slip? I don't know. The markers, I got a couple of, from my Montana spray paint video, the review or whatever, I mentioned about how I was interested in getting more of the Montana black cans. So I did. I was like, let's see what's around and what I might be able to get. So I grabbed a ultramarine, which is actually most similar in color to the Liquitex cobalt blue hue. Like they're really close. And then the other one was called True Yellow, which is probably a little closer to a Hansa yellow, or like a the benzimidazoline's probably the other closest one. Let's see here. Yeah, no, that's way too yellow for that. Yeah, it's probably closer to a Hansa yellow or an Azo yellow. No, that's too much. Yeah. It's almost not quite neon, but it's very, 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 very bright yellow. So, yeah. And I got a white as well. So that's that yellow. That's that blue. Yeah, and I grabbed one of the white ones because I'm always using black and white spray. So starting to build that collection up a little bit. Pastel markers spray. I think that was it. There might be one other thing, but it wasn't super important, I guess. Now that you're a little closer, I'll hold this up. So, where are we at? Here, this guy. This is what I'm working on. And big canvases, as I mentioned the last time, are always great. Mostly. So, and I have a lower arced horizon, arcing down. Down and up, like that. Crosses up. Yeah, this nib is so terrible. Sequence of sort of these rounder rocks here. Bigger one here. I like the idea of having some other shapes, other rocks floating around in here. Certain things with more of a debris or a something or other. And actually, come to think of it, since I don't have my... Since we're underwater, we're going to have to find a way to get our people somewhere. I like the idea of maybe having like a crashed submarine or something. A couple of people walking out of it. I think that'll work. Kind of similar to I did a collaborative piece with a friend, and there were a lot of little spaceships in that piece, and I did at least compositionally, sort of that again lower right hand side ish of that painting was like a crashed ship and two little guys and things. So, although with this one, rather than smoke coming out of it, some bubbles maybe. And I like the idea of maybe doing some like, because this other one is above this, magma vents, was like so steam vents coming up and things like that, so I might play around with that idea as well. But yeah, should be good. I may end up grabbing some reference from the movie Aquaman, because that movie was awesome, and the world building they did and the design work for their version of Atlantis was really cool. So I might reference some of that for the color of this, and some of the shapes, not all of them, but some of them for sure. Because all I have is really kind of just these wavy seaweed shapes in my sketch, and then I have a trail of fish kind of coming up and around. It's just like this big S shape. That looks pretty good. Okay, so the background blues here. I've been meaning to actually drop my cobalt blue entirely off my palette because I don't really use it. So I'm probably going to grab that and some cerulean. And I really like this anthraquinone indigo. I only have it in the high flow, but it's a good color. I think a mix of these three will be pretty good. Use the anthraquinone for more of the dark sections, and then I want to mix some green into this. I'm probably going to use the phthalo green for that. I've been meaning to make a video about this, so I tried out one of these Liquitex soft bodies, and they used to come in tubes, and they started putting them in these funny little bottles, and I hate these. These are like quite possibly one of the worst designed things I've ever seen. And what's funny is almost immediately after using one of these, because I actually had never, am I holding that up enough? I don't know. Immediately after trying this stuff out, I was like, you know what? I would rather have one of the golden fluids. I think these paints are just not just strictly better, but the viscosity just between the two of them. I want the fluid more than I want the soft body. That's personal preference. I think it's part of the viscosity of this. I find myself continually trimming this out. Like it keeps clogging up in the tip. It's way too
like they use these for their acrylic wash too, and it probably works better for the acrylic wash. But for the soft body, it's just the viscosity is weirdly too thick for this nozzle to be effective. Which, I mean, I know I can just take the whole damn lid off, but kind of defeats the purpose at that point. I'm going to be doing some editing to my general color palette later this year for my big fall art haul. A little bit of that green in there. But primarily just that cobalt is the dominating color. So that's going to give me my nice dark that I would probably associate with a phthalo, but yeah, it should kick this back just enough. Okay, so this feels like a pretty good start. Killed two birds with one stone here, got rid of the bulk of that cobalt blue. Actually, at this point, I'm probably just going to sit this here and grab it periodically for this piece, because I don't need much more than that now, which is awesome. So actually, that takes me down to 3 regular heavy body blues from the 4 that I've been using for a really long time. I'm actually going to grab this Quin Nicolazo gold, mix it with some of the green that I have left, and build in a little bit of a washy base color here. Just for the land, anyway. So that made a really nice, almost sap green kind of color. That's basically sap green. That's hilarious. Yeah. And this is just, at this point, to cover the space that's here. It's not going to stay this color, I just want to cover the white. Yeah, it's really streaky. I probably should have just used some of the fluids or something in order to offset that issue. But it is going to allow me to play a little bit more with layering than I was going to initially. That's pretty good. I'm considering doing some oil with this as well as some finishing layers. I've actually been rather enjoying doing an occasional acrylic underpainting and then oil to finish. It's quite useful. Actually, a lot of artists do that as well. Yeah, pull some of that up just so I can see roughly where my city's center is. Yeah, I actually want to grab some spray paint, I think. Since I have the cobalt hue, just some of that and maybe even a little bit of black in here. Because I know I want to, because I want the city to stand out and the light of the city to be that higher contrast. And a lot of times if I'm doing anything with the glowy lighting, a lot of that'll be just specifically more better suited when over a black background or just a very dark background. Suddenly, as I was shaking this, I remembered the other thing I bought, which was some spray caps. So these are the pink fat caps, and then there's some skinny Montana caps. What is it? Spray line soft fine is what they're calling that one. So yeah, spray caps to check out. That's another one of the Liquitex ones. For whatever reason, they've been back ordered for like a year. And it's like, they're just pieces of plastic, come on. So sure enough, the cobalt blue was one of my cans that was clogged. Went to fix it, punctured the top, and now I'm just gonna have to drain. So much for spraying with that one. Just, yeah, it's It's just gonna have to drain out. Well, I do have the Montana stuff, but it would basically kill my ability to actually work with the rest of the piece. So that's fun. Okay, so the blue can might be shot, but my black can still looks good. I've tossed a calligraphy cap on here so I can get some cool lines. And I want to get a couple of these stiffer sheets of paper, since I don't want to go overboard, and I want to do some wipe away subtractive stuff with this. Like that. Okay, that didn't work. Just use your fingers. Yeah. Maybe not. If it is spray, it's gonna drop in a lot faster than I really want it to. So that's nice. So that note card thing didn't work. But that does. This'll work. Here we go. This is what I wanted to do. That way. Just gonna allow me to have it be a little darker there, right around where the city is. And I can just glaze with the rest of that. I mean, I don't need the spray just makes things a little easier. Yeah, all the stuff down by the seafloor there, just make a little darker. Yeah, you know what? I bet I can play with that Montana. I really want to play with it. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, that can is still going. Okay, so same calligraphy cap, Montana Black Ultramarine. Gonna play with the note card a little bit as well here. All right, so I want just a little, essentially just a bit more to offset that blue, or that black rather. Any of that streaky color. That's a little better, for sure. There it goes. Now, unfortunately, that means this is going to smell for a while, which means I'm probably going to move my process out here for a while. Because as this dries, it's going to be a mess, and it's going to smell a lot. So, not sure what I want to do at this point. I actually would love to frost a little bit of a lighter color up in here. I think I've got some cerulean from the Liquitex. Just give it a little frosting on top, you know? Almost bubbly, you know? Looks pretty good, actually. A little down there. Yeah, that's good. That gives it like a little bit of a seafoam kind of approach. And I need to not get paint on these. That would be bad. Get the other quarter here. A little drippy with this cap. Getting a couple of splatters in there, but not the end of the world. Also, I've been working on one of my painted bottle projects as well, so I can use this paint for some of that too. You know, as long as it's As long as it's out, spackle a bottle, you know? That's what I do with these. I paint them old liquor bottles to give a little extra finesse. That's a fat cap. We'll pull that. Go back to the ultramarine for a minute. Just give it a light thing. That's good. So that gives me the color. Well, not not completely detracting from all the brushwork I did earlier. So all of that streakiness is still there underneath, but it's not really overpowering. So I think that works really well. That's pretty solid. Yeah, so I'm gonna grab my paint marker again and rework some of these lines. All right, sketch down here again. Flip this bucket over and stand on it a little bit here. Find these lines. Baseland. A little bit of an overlay with some of these. And the rocks, which I completely lost. Funny submarine I want to put, I think, a little closer here, rather than, I had it kind of closer to the middle. I want to put it more here. 1, 2. That can is still going. It's going to be doing that all day. I can feel it. Yeah, this was supposed to go a little higher, I think. That's good. Rocks on this side. Basic perspective lines. Doesn't hurt anything, you know? That feels good. I was really, I was kind of worried that I might overdo it with the spray paint, because sometimes I do, and I've learned to hopefully not do that. But this worked, and that little bit of blue frosting just really adds the. It feels like that's churning sea foam, which is good, because that was the goal. And I think the little submarine's going to be perfect. Okay, so while that's airing out, let's set this palette over so it can dry and whatever. I'm going to actually charge my microphone, because the battery on this as well as on the receiver is getting low. I have some bills to pay, so just general day-to-day stuff. Whoops, touch that. And yeah, I think that's where I'm going to be. So take a break for now. Get some other stuff done. High probability I'm going to distract myself with some games and have lunch. Even though it's a little early, but I could use some more substantial food than those cookies I had this morning. And yeah, I think that's where I'm headed. Okay, so now while this is dry and aerated, at least mostly aerated anyway, I can bring it back inside. However, as expected, breaking for lunch broke my concentration, so I'm probably not going to work on this anymore today, or at least not until tonight, maybe. But I am happy with how it looks, and I got it up to Instagram, which is good. And now I've got some other stuff to do upstairs, and I'm probably going to lean into closing out this vlog for the day. So, at this point in my day, it's a little after 1, and I've got a couple other things I want to do. Most notably is boil down some tomatoes and make some sauce. While I am going to a friend's to hang out and dinner and stuff tonight, all we're having is pizza. So I want to be sure I had made something to eat for later for the weekend. So I've got some sweet Italian sausage I want to make. And I want to be sure that that's done ahead of time before I even leave. So, ugh, wow, okay, that went everywhere. Awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. So that's kind of where I'm probably going to be for the next foreseeable hour or so. I have a crap load of dishes to do from the past few days because I tend to let stuff sit. I'm gonna put a little water in there. Maybe some red wine or something to, geez, I polished that bottle off the other day. So this is kind of where my day's sitting now. Just gonna play around with some kitchen things and get this video cut together and relax and play some games this afternoon. It's a little warm outside, a little too warm to do anything major. So just trying to take it easy and enjoy my weekend and get some stuff done around the house. And that's kind of where today and probably tomorrow is going to be too. Oh, wow, that went everywhere, didn't it? That splashed on top of everything. So I'm going to get going on this, take care of all that things, and that's, yeah. So not much of a studio stuff day. That mail, just shipping that thing out really threw a whole wrench in the operation this morning. But had to be done. And so, yeah, so I got some time in. Maybe sometime before I leave, I'll be able to put a little more studio time in, but not sure. But that's it for this week's vlog. Not real exciting, but you know, just getting stuff done, and just, yeah, it's part of the process. Not all of the art stuff is exciting. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. I'll be back with another tutorial and/or educational thing next week. Actually, it's gonna be between one of the 5 things videos and a product review. I have not decided which one to do yet, but one of those two is what will be happening next week. Okay, just distracted by stuff outside. Thanks guys for watching. Keep on creating. If you want to see more of my updates in terms of what I'm working on periodically, be sure to check out my Instagram. That, as well as my other social links, are available in the description box below, including a community Discord where you can talk with me directly. But thanks guys for watching this. I think I already said keep on creating, and I will see you guys next time.